And thank you, Veronica. Well, the Academy of Medical and Public Health Services has an event coming up aiming to better the well-being of local residents, as well as increasing awareness of the immigrant health resources available right here in our community. Here now to tell us more about their second annual Sunset Park Health Empowerment Celebration, we welcome the President and CEO of the AMPHS, Hewitt Chu, and Executive Vice President, Chief of Staff, Monyuk Yu. We thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So, for people who don't know a little bit about the Academy of Medical and Public Health Services, why don't you give us a little bit of background into the
Absolutely, I'd love to. So we are a public health service nonprofit that uses clinical health services as a gateway to understanding an individual's social determinants of health. So what we mean by that is for the marginalized, underserved population here in New York City that have been just left out of the mainstream healthcare system for decades, we help them sort of take them step by step and guide them into the process of accessing healthcare. And perhaps maybe I can give you a little bit of a story of what exactly we do.
Go ahead.
So we have a pretty good partnership with our local council member, who's also the chair of the Immigration Committee on the New York City Council, Carlos Menchaca. And his office actually referred one of our community members to our location. Now, this particular individual was 21 years old, and he is of Hispanic descent, and he is deaf and mute. So he couldn't hear and he couldn't speak. And he's also illiterate, so he never learned how to read as well. His family, the only way they could communicate with him is through guessing each other's signs. And so when he went to access health care, and his entire family in one of our local hospitals, they weren't really able to directly communicate with him. And not only that, but as they went through the entire process and the screening process, they found that they weren't as well equipped to actually handle certain types of disabilities. So he came to us. They were very frustrated, and so that's why they went to the local council member's office, and so the council member referred them to us because we're really a resource for the complex cases in the community. So when he came to us, we sort of took our time and sort of listened to him and sort of signed with him the best we could. But then when it came time to do the visual acuity screening with the E-chart, with the Snellen chart, we figured, well, how are we going to do that? Because you actually have to say out the letters.
Right.
And so we had an idea. Well, why don't we use the pediatric chart where it's not just having to say out the letters, but it's actually like the E, but in different angles. And so he could actually point to where the E's are facing for us to check his visual acuity. And so actually, for the first time in his life, he was able to get a vision screening. Not at a hospital, not at a clinic, but at a local healthcare public health facility.
Which really makes a difference. It made a difference in his life. And of course, I know you're seeking to make a difference in the lives of others. Sharing that a little bit further, you're having an event for the community, and you're having some screenings. I think some information. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the event?
Absolutely. So, our second annual Health Empowerment Celebration in Sunset Park is really meant to bring the community together. As many of us know, Sunset Park, as well as New York City, is such a diverse conglomeration of different cultures. Particularly in Sunset Park, you see the Muslim cultures, the Asian cultures, as well as the Latino population, all living together in one place. And we've heard so much divisive rhetoric in the past couple of months, especially with Trump and all the negative messages that he's trying to purport. But our goal is, number one, to really bring the community together, the multicultural community here in New York City, and have them understand that health and wellness is not just bounded by geography, race, or income. It's something that we have a right to. It's not a privilege. And that's what we aim to do with this event, empower communities in order to access health as something that they can, as a facet of their everyday lives.
And we're seeing some pictures here. Share with us a little bit about what we're seeing.
So during the event, we'll have a number of different activities. We'll have free health screenings for the community, including blood pressure exams, hepatitis B exams, tuberculosis testing. We'll have free flu shots. We'll also have a number of free fitness activities. So we'll have instructors from the community volunteering their time to provide free martial arts Tai Chi, cardio, kickboxing, and dance workshops. We'll also have cooking demonstrations where we educate people how to eat on a budget, how to eat healthy in a multicultural way, despite them not having the resources to do so. And we'll also have a number of different resources from our community-based organizations serving immigrants as well as low-income populations to provide information about what they do.
And Hugh, part of what you're saying, and obviously you've talked about this, is that bridging the gap, if you will, because there's a huge gap out there. Talk to us about that gap and how you're looking to fill it.
Yeah, so the gap is more than just like a resource gap, but it's also, you know, like a cultural competency, linguistic competence, just like skills gap in how can we actually outreach effectively to this population that everyday health and wellness is just not a part of their dialogue. It's not a part of their social behaviors. It's not a part of their thinking. So with this particular marginalized community that face these significant barriers, you know, how can we think about reaching out to them, you know, being closer to them, going out into the community and bringing our services and grow along with them in the community rather than having them go to a very large institutionalized, you know, hospital setting where they may not even feel comfortable going into in the first place.
And so for people who want more information, you want to know, August 20th is the date. It's taking place between 11 and 3. Come on out to Brooklyn, Sunset Park Recreation Center, 4300 7th Avenue in Brooklyn. That's exactly where the event's going to be held, and I guarantee you, you will have some fun there. The health empowerment celebration, getting the necessary information that you need to have. Do you find out, given the fact that, you know, what's going on in the country and the nation, that more people are taking advantage of the healthcare opportunities out there? We know about Obamacare and things like that. Are people taking advantage of the resources?
Well, you know, even with the ACA, with Obamacare, people have also found that some of their insurances, you know, have high premiums, high deductibles. There's still like, you know, co-insurance that's, you know, built into many of the insurance plans. And so for some of the individuals who sort of like are right in between Medicaid and being able to sort of efficiently afford their own health insurance, they're also a little afraid, you know, because they do face the deductibles and sort of like, you know, these sort of other costs involved. And so that's what we're trying to do a little bit, is to help educate them. You know, these are what are the various different benefits, these are the different plans that are available. And this is really what you should do to effectively utilize healthcare at the right time, in the right location, in the right setting, and, you know, for the right reasons.
Now, for people who want more information about the Academy, what can they do and how can they get in touch with you? And who's eligible to receive your services?
So anyone is eligible to receive our services. We have no requirements as to their documentation status, income levels, or any other qualifying criteria. So anyone can just make an appointment, call up our number, 212-256-9036, to make an appointment and see one of our clinicians or social workers who will be able to assist them and get a better sense of their case and how we can best manage their particular situation.
Well, certainly we want people to take advantage of it, and we want to thank you both for coming and sharing with us, and best wishes on your event. Hopefully get some good weather out there.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All righty. Thank you so much, Hewitt Chu and Munhyuk Yu from the Academy of Medical and Public Health Services. They've been our guests right here. Going to take a quick break, but before we take the break, I want to tell you about this. Visions held its 5th annual Mix It Up event, helping to support the blind as well as the visually impaired. Our BronxNet reporter, Eden Martinez, tells us more.
The Vision's Bronx Advisory Board held their 5th annual Mix It Up celebrity fundraiser at the Tosca rooftop. The event was held to raise funds for blind and visually impaired individuals who don't have the services or any support with their living conditions. The event featured celebrity bartenders, which were board members from the organization itself. The event was not only held to help raise money for the organization, but to raise awareness to those who don't know about the services that Visions provides.
So we're here tonight to support the cause of helping people. There's no charge for the support. So if they come into your home and they evaluate you as someone who's visually impaired, they provide all of the equipment that you might need to be more successful or have a happy life.
The event was started in 2012 by Daniel Bernstein, who has had the support towards the event ever since it started.
I'm a board member of Visions. I actually work for the Fordham Road Business Improvement District. I sit on the board of Visions for the last 5 or 6 years. So today basically is Visions guest bartending night here at Tosca Rooftop Bar in the Bronx. It's basically to raise money and to raise awareness for vision services for the blind, the visually impaired right here in the Bronx.
This is Eddie Martinez, BronxNet.